Today, we are going to talk about some XRP news. We're also going to get into tokenization of assets and how this is becoming a more mainstream topic to bring up by institutions, as well as I have a clip of David Schwartz talking at the Asia Pacific conference on Ripple and XRP. So I'm going to play a little bit of all this and we're going to have some fun. Let's play it. All right. So when was the right time to sell Amazon? This is the mindset you need to hold when you're talking about holding some of these digital assets that are going to transform the way the world moves value and tokenizes value. Okay, check us out.
What would you say to people out there with a little bit of money thinking about buying crypto? You think it's going to 1 million?
When?
Ever.
You're talking about Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this stuff about volatility, Amazon lost 60% of its value over 8 times. Now, when was the right time to sell Amazon? I mean, monster washouts.
Yeah, the answer I would say is never.
Never is the right answer. But only 4 people didn't ever sell anything. And they're all named Bezos because they knew. Who got washed out? Margin call players like you and me, the banks. Hey, this is over. I'm getting out. If you think crypto is where Amazon was when he just opened up a bookstore, which I actually happen to believe is true, I would start what's called dollar cost averaging. It's a better risk-adjusted investment today than it was at $300 a Bitcoin.
Check this out, guys. I will bet you anything that I own over the next 5 years, XRP will increase in greater demand than any stock on the planet. I'll take that bet because I think it's going to be astronomical. Personally, I do. Brad Garlinghouse. An important topic has come up about protecting retail. The SEC created this mess by proclaiming it was the cop on the beat in the crypto space when it had no legal jurisdiction to do so. Where has it gotten us? Consumers left holding the bag in bankruptcy court while the SEC holds press conferences congratulating themselves for not stopping anything. Well, I kind of ad-libbed there, but it's absurd to blame a judge for faithfully applying the law. We all know the legislation. Not more regulation by enforcement is the only way forward to provide clear rules and protect retail. Glad to see more members of Congress like Representative Torres and Patrick McHenry champion this. And that's facts, baby. That's facts. Here's Raul Paul talking about price fluctuations and XRP. And check this out. It's pretty fire.
There's this weird narrative from the past about Ripple. The point being is, even if they have to settle a lawsuit and get a slap on the wrist, Ripple plays actually quite an important role. It's a money transmission network, and it does quite a good job of it. And it has deep connections with global governments around the world and has worked really hard on it. So there is a reason the chain is valued as highly as it is, and it's not from speculation, because actually, it got taken off a whole bunch of exchanges because of the lawsuit. It's actually because when I use my net cast law model, the amount of value that gets transacted on the chain is very high. It's being used. So I think if you lift the legal issue, probability is that the value of the chain increases significantly. And as the world moves towards central bank digital currencies, I think the XRP network is going to be somewhere at the center
of all of it, baby. And he is absolutely right. Check this out, guys. Listen to what he's saying here. 2023 is the building and testing year, right? Listen to this. This is talking about tokenization, talking about institutions, talking about all that money about to come into the space.
Working on deploying tokenization-based solutions and infrastructure. It's a long build. So 23 is the year where we're building this, where we are going to have some water in the pipes, basically. Some initial deals, some transactions that you're seeing here and there, but institutional grade. What we've seen before was non-institutional grade assets going to retail and things like that. What we're going to start to see, just like KKR, but others as well. I had a conference in December, which I call the Asset Managers Are Coming. We had Hamilton Lane on stage in Aberdeen, and the likes of BlackRock are in the market, the likes of Vanguard and so on. So JP Morgan, as I said, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, they're all working on it. So 23 is the year where we're building the infrastructure. 24 is the year where it could start to scale. But like any digital revolution, once it starts scaling, it's quite exponential because it's very easily replicatable.
Once it starts scaling, guys, that's what we're waiting for, starting to scale. Cypress Demonacore put this out. We are at the stage right before takeoff. Listen to this. This is actually the head of innovation at Swift. This was 11 days ago.
We got two types of negative Nancy's in this market. The ones that say, I'm tired of hearing that we are early in this digital asset landscape, or the ones that say that we aren't early and the opportunities have already left the table. However, that negative mindset will disallow you to engage in utility-driven crypto research to capitalize on discounted market opportunities during this crypto winter. When individuals like this, Nick Kerrigan, head of innovation at Swift, only 10 days ago, discussing on a panel about connecting blockchains and tokenization of real-world assets, is literally telling you to your face that we are early. Take a second and listen to this gentleman right here and utilize this opportunity to do your research and capitalize on this crypto winter.
That's incredibly powerful. I guess we're, as you said, we're sort of at the, I wouldn't say at the start of this, we're still in the early stages of it, right? We're sort of at that, you know, I always think about the sort of S-curve of adoption, and we're sort of at that sort of, where it's starting to accelerate, but it isn't quite yet at the sort of takeoff point. And indeed, we see that right in the market cap of regulated tokens, which is still relatively small, especially compared with sort of less regulated things like sort of crypto assets. And I guess some of the things that limit them.
So there are trillions and trillions coming into this new space in the form of tokenized assets. Check it out.
Memorandum of understanding to establish our digital asset custodian called Zodia here in the DIFC. Now, 5 years ago, we weren't talking about a digital asset custodian in Standard Chartered Bank.
How big can that be, Bill? You know, this is becoming a hub for crypto. It's very, very clear it's an ambition. So from an MOU to dollars, tell me what it can be.
So we have,
dollars.
Zodia is our digital asset custodian, and I do make the distinction between digital assets and crypto. So,
okay.
Yeah, today, I mean, crypto is the bulk of what is digital assets today. When we look forward 5 or 10 years from now, I think we'll find vast swathes of the financial architecture that has been tokenized. That could include central bank digital currencies, which of course exist to some extent so far, but they're quite small at this point. Stable coins, tokenized real assets, whether it's, I mean, Jenny talks about effectively the digitization or tokenization of money market funds, right? These are trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that could find themselves in tokenized form. And there's an underlying infrastructure that's different for distributed ledger technology relative to the current state of play. And to the extent that Dubai or anyone else can get ahead of the game and make sure that infrastructure is embedded in the local infrastructure, but also regulated from here, gives you a huge head start in terms of building that industry over time.
Well, that digitization that Jenny talked about, in many ways, handed the power to decide what.
That's where it ended, so that's where we're moving on. In the US, there are 4 crypto bills that are moving through Congress, right? Over the past couple of years, there's been up to 50 digital asset bills that were introduced, but really didn't go anywhere. But the 4 that are going through Congress right now that do have some pep in the step, is, if you would call it, Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. This is introduced and aims to create a solid process for determining if a digital asset is a commodity or a security, which would be great. There's the Responsible Financial Innovation Act, the bill and similar goals. It has all of these things. I'm not going to go through them, guys. You can come back and take a look at this. But there's also the Digital Asset Market Structure Bill. And there's also the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. The reason I'm not going to go over this is because bills change as they go through Congress. And what's in a bill right now could be totally different when it goes into the Senate or then goes to the president's desk. So just understand that what passes the House could be a different bill in the end from what gets to the Senate. The world's largest country by landmass is set to roll out a digital ruble over the next couple weeks. This is August 1st when they're going to launch this. I don't need to read you all the article. August 1st, and I'll have updates on this channel when that happens. Also, let's end it on this, right? So here's David Schwartz. He's at this Web Tokyo event, and it's a great clip. There is a guy that goes, if you look in the audience, there's so many seats available to sit down. This person is trying to record this conversation, and you'll notice the guy who sits right in front. You know, like when you're at the movie theater and you're sitting there, if the theater's empty, but you got your feet up on the chair in front of you because you had a long day and you just want to kick back, eat some popcorn, eat some candies, and drink an icy. And the one couple or whatever comes in and sits right in front of you when there's 100 other seats available. That's what happens here. Let me show you.
The XRP ledger addressing the elephant in the room. and kind of building into our talk about real-world asset tokenization, how has the recent so-called partial victory in the case brought by the SEC against Ripple affected the ability to proceed with developments such as real-world asset tokenization on the XRP ledger?
I mean, it's been a huge milestone. It's gonna help many players in the crypto, particularly exchanges that do business in the United States. I don't think it's going to significantly affect Ripple's ability to do any of the things that Ripple's doing, and I don't think it's going to significantly affect the XRP ledger's ability to do any of the things the XRP ledger is doing. The biggest practical effect is that exchanges relisted XRP. Presumably, given the timing, it's presumably in response to this, in their public statements, it's presumably in response to this ruling, which makes it easier for people to, makes it more liquid, it makes it easier for people to transact with it. But I don't think it's going to make significant differences in Ripple's ability to do what Ripple wants to do, and it certainly shouldn't affect anybody who wants to use the XRP ledger and their ability. And again, this was a pretty significant milestone, so, better.
Yeah, and beyond that milestone, what's next for the XRP ledger?
What's next?
How can you achieve that, and what's your plan to achieve that next level of widespread adoption?
Well, one of the things that I'm very personally excited about is XLS30, which is an automated market maker.
We've talked a lot about this on the channel the last couple months, guys. I hope you're aware of AMM's coming in October. It just had the audit done, the smart contract audit by Certic, 91.8 pass rate, and it's looking real saucy.
Nicely in with the other features that the XRP ledger has. I think another big thing you're going to see is the same technology that's used in the XRP ledger being used for other projects that have similar needs. You're going to see that with stablecoins. You're going to see that with tokenization tokenization of assets like real estate. People who don't want to be, not everything needs to be on the same blockchain, and I think replicating that technology to have side chains that are application specific is going to be interesting. I'm personally just really excited about the automated market maker. That's something that's been, the mechanics of the trading of assets have been interesting to me for a long time. And in particular, it really helps with the volatility. One of the big obstacles to adoption of cryptocurrency is the volatility of their price, and that'll really help with that.
And we're in Tokyo today. While you're in Japan, you have this large XRP support base here. The XRP has the support of SBI Holdings CEO Yoshitaka Kitao, who has said that he believes all Japanese banks would adopt XRP by 2025.
Hold on. Look at all the empty chairs in front of you, all right? And the guy sits right in front of the guy filming. I had to pause it because that is a dick move, and if you enter in a movie theater and this happens, point it out, saying, hey, sit somewhere else, all right?
18 months away. Can that happen, and how can the XRP ledger kind of get to that point?
I'm very nervous about predicting the future. I don't have a crystal ball, and as you know, circumstances can change. But I have to say, XRP was built as a sort of value exchange system. It was built as a way to sort of pool liquidity. One of the earliest visions that we had for the XRP ledger in 2012 was this idea of sort of public pools of liquidity that anybody could contribute to and draw off of, so that you wouldn't be stuck with the liquidity. Like, if you make a payment an international payment at your bank, you get whatever liquidity the bank has, and it's a revenue stream for them. Like, if you could draw off all of the revenue, all of the pools of liquidity, anybody who had, Apple has a whole bunch of money stuck in Ireland for no particular reason. Like, if people need money in Ireland, Apple would love to have a marketplace in which they could sort of provide that to people. And I think that model resonates well with financial institutions. Ripple has had great success marketing, more sophisticated payment systems that can settle with digital assets to financial institutions. I would personally wouldn't put a time frame on it though, because sometimes it feels like we're moving blindingly fast, and sometimes it seems like things take forever. And these are very conservative institutions. But obviously, Kitao-san would know the Japanese banks better than I would.
Okay, great. So,
all right, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment down below, I'll get back to you. I love comments, and I get back to all of them, even if they're negative. But hey, everyone's got their opinions, and hey, this is a free internet where you can post whatever you want, and I'll try to respond to you the best I can and keep my cool when I do it. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.